I was born in England. I've lived many parts of the world. I love tea. I'm a typical English person in that sense. I drink 5 or 6 cups of tea a day. I prepare tea in the typical teapots. I like to drink my tea with milk, like many people. Pour in the milk, a little milk at the bottom, and then you pour the tea on top of the milk. You don't pour the tea in and then the milk on top of the tea. It changes the flavour. Oh yes. Well, in Peru, how do you make lemonade? Do you put in the sugar first, or the water first, or do you put in the lemon? So so if you change that order, you change the flavour. The same with tea. So you will see English tea people putting milk at the bottom, a little milk, not very much, a little milk, just to like something like a cookdown, change the colour, and you change the flavour, and then the tea is poured in top from the teapot. That is the typical way of drinking tea. I love to drink tea that way. I will drink iced tea, which is a variation of tea for the summer. But as I say, I would also drink hot tea during the summer months.
We are going to introduce a Peruvian tea with flavors to England, and we want to ask some questions about it.
Okay, go ahead. Please do. If I can help you.
If you like tea, why do you consume it?
Why do I consume tea? I guess I consume tea because, number one, I like it. Most of the time, when you try something, you want to experiment, and plus the fact, coming from an English home, I see my parents consuming tea. I see my uncles and aunts having tea parties and things like that. So I was born into this type of society where it was a normal thing. It's part of normal British life to drink tea at certain hours of the day.
Would you say it's a tradition?
Definitely. Tea is a very, very English tradition. Just like you eating ceviche. It's
What benefits do you think that tea has?
What benefits do I think the tea has? Well, tea is I think that I drink tea at night. Why? Because it relaxes me and lets me sleep. Okay, sleep well. Tea can be invigorating. Tea is a friendly drink. It's for talking with your friends, having a cup of tea, and it's part of friendship. It's part of communication between people. So tea is very important. It's a very good social drink. You don't have to drink a beer to be social. In England, we drink a lot of tea. It's a very pleasant drink. As I say, I like it. It's a habit, and I drink a lot of tea.
So you said tea in England is like an important drink for you.
Definitely, not just for me, but if you say for you, you're referring to English people. Yes, there's a very high consumption of tea. I would say much more than coffee. I mean, here in Peru, you love coffee. Peruvians love coffee. All the time it's un cafecito. No, in England it's the same. Your friends come and see you. The first thing, I remember seeing my mother. Friends would come. First thing she do, can I offer you a cup of tea? We say shorten that to cuppa now. So it was always something you would offer as part of courtesy to people, to friends, especially. Maybe not so much these days, but it still exists. It's still a very strong habit, custom of the English society.
Is it necessary for English people?
I think so, yes. I would definitely say you'd probably have a revolution on your hand if you didn't let people have tea anymore. It's not. I mean, tea is not exactly a drug, but like coffee that has caffeine. Tea has its own alkaloids. I would hesitate to say that forms an addiction. I don't think so. I don't consider myself to be a tea addict.
A tea lover, yes.
Yeah, tea lover, yes, but not an addict. I think there's a difference, an important difference there.
Are there any kind of tea that you prefer or any kind of tea you can bring?
Um, well, in actual fact, my favourite tea, as I was saying before, is a blend of tea called Earl Grey. No, it's a mixture of tea with a dry leaf from the plant called chamomile. No, okay. You will probably find Earl Grey on the shelf here in Wong or Metro or Vivanda. I bought Earl Grey here very frequently. I like the taste. I like that blend. We call them blends when you mix things together. No, I'm not so much of a. I don't particularly look for. Well, number one, I don't really like tea bags. I prefer my typical teapot. I have my own teapot where I prepare my own tea. No? But yes, tea bags are an important market in England. A lot of people consume tea bags because if you're working in the office, you don't have time to sit down and start preparing your tea and boiling the water, this, that, and the other when you're in the office. So what do? You use tea bags. So tea bags are important part of the segment of the British
You would
market.
prefer to buy like tea a granel or tea in tea?
Me, tea a granel. That's what I call loose tea, because I think it has possibly a better flavour because of the way you prepare it. You let it sit so it absorbs the water, and it's all. To make a tea it's all a ritual. No, it's not just like putting water in tea and that's it. No, it has its sequence. A bit like, I suppose, that copying the old Chinese way of preparing green tea. You see, I think that's where it probably originated. This habit or this ceremony of the tea ceremony, which is obviously very important in China as well. But yes, we have that.
So it means that you prefer foreign tea than national tea?
No, not at all. I mean, Earl Grey, for example, is a very expensive tea here. For a very small amount, the way I prepare it, I consume a lot of tea using the teapot. It's not like tea in tea bags, which I don't think have the same flavour. But anyway, I like the traditional. If you want to talk about Wiro or one of those blends, one of those brands of Peruvian tea, which is very good. I like Peruvian tea, and I know that it has a good name in England in these specialised shops. Peruvian tea has a good image, just like coffee, for example, from Peru also has a good image. One of the top coffees around the world. Not that Peruvian tea or Te Huiro is a bad. No. Te Huiro is I think is a very good, tasty tea. I enjoy my Te Huiro. Go to the market and buy my tea. I do that very frequently.
From your point of view, England is a big market of tea, or only is a big consumer of tea?
A big market or a big consumer?
Because the people produce more tea, or people consume more tea, but it's import from other countries.
Yes. Tea is grown in certain climates. And Europe does not have the climate. All around Europe, it's not the right climate for producing tea plants.
They have to import.
Everything has to be imported. Just the same as we have to import bananas or pineapples. They don't grow in that type of climate. So we have different plants and different fruits, etc., because of the climatic conditions. Mean that we can't grow tea. It's all imported.
Are there any part of England that like more different or more variety of tea?
That is difficult for me to answer, if not impossible to answer, because I think it is pretty much the same. What maybe you will find is that maybe there's more consumption of tea bags or tea in tea bags in the cities, whereas out in the country the country people, the farmers, they prefer to prepare tea the traditional way in the teapot, because they have maybe more time, and people in the cities work in offices, etc. It's not so convenient.
When you say the traditional way, is like loose tea or the plant or the herb itself? Because for example, here in Peru, some plants we boil the plant and the herb,
You
or
boil
the
the leaves of the plant, not just the
Yes.
leaves, but the plant, everything in you boil it up in water. No, tea, no. Tea we consume tea that has been picked, dried and cut into small leaves, basically. Also part of the stalks of the plants, but we don't put them. We don't. You will not find green tea. A green plant of tea you will not find. It's all dried tea. Just the same as you will not find coffee plants in England. It's all toasted coffee beans.
So, for example, if in the can you have like dry plants, for example, camu and gomatu, it won't be a problem. What I'm trying to tell you is that if the people don't freak out, let's say, if they don't see like dust. For example, coffee here is just dust. It's como un polvo.
Yeah, it's like polvo is a powder, a coffee powder. Yeah,
For example,
no, well, the tea is never so not. It's never so, shall we say, minute like a powder. It's always you always see pieces of tea, small pieces of the tea leaves or tea stalks. Just the same as if you went into the market here to buy loose tea out of these big bags. It's exactly the same.
because, for example, camu and gomatu, which are the plants that we are planning to mix with the tea, they have to be dry, but they won't be in powder. They will be like small.
That I don't think that will be and I don't see that to be a problem though, because in loose tea you will find pieces of stalks. Not everything is not at all powder. Okay, there is a certain amount of powder, but it's not like instant coffee. No, it's not that sort of talcum powder. No, you can see pieces of tea, of the leaves, of the stalks of the plant.
As you said that in England people import tea, right?
They what?
Import the tea.
Yeah, tea is all imported in
So
England.
about the regulation when that tea want to enter the market, what kind of regulation can go
Well,
us?
I don't know, but obviously you will need a sanitary, some type of agricultural control. I don't know what the British government or the authorities in England require to import tea, but that I think is quite normal. No? If you import something to Peru, you have to have a certificate to say that it doesn't have any plagues or it's not ill, or you're not importing anything that might upset the ecological situation in your country. Just the same as all food products require, I think it's phytosanitary certificates. England is no different to that. Any food that of any type that's imported, it has to have its, shall we say, medical certificate, agricultural certificate in this case.
And about the label, English people tend to read a lot the label, the ingredients, or they just like skip it and buy what they are used
No,
to.
I think you'll find that English people will read the label to find out what ingredients are in the blend of tea that you are offering them. They will definitely be interested to know where does the tea come from. Tea coming from Peru, as I say, it has a good reputation, so that is not a problem. But yes, going back to your original question, people will read what is on the label. And the label can be very important as well. I mean, it can be a blue label, it can be a red label. It depends on your brand, or it depends on the blend of tea. For example, Camel, maybe it would be great to have it with an orange label or something. I don't know. That's a question of the marketeers working something on. But to make it distinctive, no? But yes, that it's loose tea from Peru. That's a good That's good. That's a good advertising. Good slogan.
Is England the country that consumes most tea in the world?
I'm afraid I can't answer that. I haven't got that. I haven't got those figures, but as I say, I can find those figures. I can get those figures with no problem. But it's difficult to say because I mean you're talking about quite a wide variety of teas with different characteristics. You've got the typical green tea in China. Before we were talking about the way Indians like to make their teas. They make their teas with all sorts of spices, different spices from different localities, different plant parts. Indians love tea. They never used to drink tea before England bought tea plants from China. Africans love to drink tea as well. The Arabs also consume tea. Tea is consumed worldwide, but difficult to say which country has the highest consumption. England must be near the top, if not the number one, but near the top. But as I say, I don't have that figure. I don't know.
And about possible substitutes, for example, if one day there's no tea in your house, you would do anything else, or you go to the store and buy some tea?
In my particular case, I would probably go to the store and buy some new tea, buy more tea because I like my tea. It's that simple. And that's not just me. A lot of English people, they like their tea, and if they don't have tea, okay, they go out and buy it. You can't, shall we say, change your tea for a coffee or change your tea for a mate or for Coca-Cola. No. People want their tea.
I tell you about camu camu or coriander. What do you think about that?
I would be very interested to try them to see what taste that blend has. Now, I mean, I've seen people in England who use mixes with tomatoes. Lemon tea is a typical blend, a typical mix of tea, or a cold lemon tea in summer. Or mixed tea with, as I say, I like the one with the chamomile, which is the Earl Grey brand. But there are many brands.
For example, these fruits are kind of acid, mostly acid. And
Yeah.
camus tend to have like a pink color.
Yeah.
So if we combine it to the tea, probably it end up in a more light.
Well,
brown
yes. Well,
color.
I don't know whether you blend it with a brown tea or with a black tea. What sort of color will come out, but the color I don't think is something that would upset people or stop people from buying that type of blend of tea. Because we do drink different colors of tea. Not just black and brown and green. There are many other colors of teas available. And, different ways of preparing tea in different parts of the world, though.
Yeah.
The Indian market is completely different to the English market. Completely different.
What if one could have an innovative foreign tea for the England market?
What?
Impact.
What impact? Well, you're getting to the right customer. People that are willing to try, and I don't know how many tons of camu camu tea you will be sending to England. I don't know, but I think it's a good market. I think you have good possibilities. I would try. I would definitely try. If I like it, I'll continue to consume it.
What possible recommendations can you give us?
Well, I think it's important to look for some distinctive type of color or packaging design or something to separate, to promote your tea. When you go in, you see all these teas on the shelves, and there are teas like, okay, here in Starbucks you find different types of coffee from Kenya, coffee from Brazil, Colombia, etc. Different characteristics, So tea from Peru, which does exist in England, the normal tea, Um, get a good label, maybe a distinctive color, something like that to make it stand out, to attract your consumer. No?
Okay.
So it means that it can be a good review for our product.
Yes, I think you have good possibilities. Camo or good idea. I would like to try that.
Okay.
No, the
I-
question is how to dry it, chop it up, mix it in with the tea, etc. What type of blend you're going to make, how much you put in, because you mentioned before, camu is a bit acid, so you cannot put in too much, because if you do, you will disguise the tea flavor. And once you do that, you are moving, I think, into another type of consumer who wants something else. If you want to tea consumers like myself, I wouldn't like to
just
try a tea that has another flavor that completely, shall we say, disguises the flavor of tea. I like that flavor to come through as well, at the same time as the camu.
Okay. I think you're pretty clear about what we were trying to guess.
Well, I hope I've been of use to you.
Yes, very much. Very, very much.
You should have got in touch with me. I could have produced a lot of. I could have helped you with all sorts of figures like which country consumes the most tea in the world. I can't answer. What type of tea do they consume? I mean, China might consume the most tea because it's the biggest country in the world, has the biggest population. But they don't consume brown and black tea. They consume basically green tea. So all these different types of figures is something you need to look at if you're thinking about what country you're going to export it. It's not that easy.
Yes.
You have to.
We've been searching.
You have to be. I wish you good luck, but
Thank you very much.
that it's a possibility, and I'm sure people will consume it. Yes, they will. But as I say, be careful with your blend. How much of the other product that is not tea is mixed in. Don't drown the flavor of the tea.
Yes. I guess we were trying. We were experimenting a lot before we had that.
I'm sure you will. Yes, to try and get the right type of balance between the tea and whatever else you're going to use. Okay.